Warning, things are about to get really, really woo woo. Very woo woo. I'm telling you this so that you're not surprised when I whoop out this bad boy. Don't look at me like that. You were warned. Hello and welcome once more to Lyra's silly, goofy Minecraft adventures. Ah, yes. What is happening? Was there like an update I wasn't aware of? I didn't know this was gonna happen. Does this usually take very long? Oh, okay. It didn't really take that long. Yes, please. Please let me join my world. Oh my god. Yes, there was an update, huh? You're so cute. Do I have food to feed you? Oh my god, you are adorable. Wait, hold on. I really need a better way to. Please stay away from my chickens. I will kill you. Yeah. Stay away from my chickens. How dare you? Wait, do I make it into the water? Oh, I'm gonna perish. Oh no. Bye-bye. Anyway, it's time to take a nappy nap. And while we do that, how about an intro? So today, we're gonna be talking about silly, goofy, woo-woo stuff, which is the reason why you saw that intro. Now, oh my gosh, you're growing. Look at you. Hold on. Oh, I don't have enough to feed you. Why is that one not dying? That's crazy. I need to help get you out of there. I don't know what's going on, but we need to do something about that. You've been stuck in there for days. I'm starting to feel kind of bad. Okay, where are my other tools? Do I own a shovel? Because I think that's what I'm gonna need. Okay. Let's go help you out. And in the meantime, whoa, relax. Okay. In the meantime, it's about time that we start talking about something that has been on my mind for quite a few days now, which is when I was younger, and I started to dabble into conspiracy territory. I found this book, and I was reminded of this book actually a few days ago. But this book was about, I need to get up there and help you out. Yeah. You'll always want to be on my business. Get out of here. Aren't you supposed to be dead? It's daytime. Why are you here? Literally. Anyways, where is he? Okay. The other day, I'm scrolling through social media as one does, and then, as luck would have it, I actually find one of those videos that are talking about the political situation in the United States. And then I look through the comments, and in one of the comments, people are talking about this channeler that had predicted that the war was going to happen or whatever. And then this reminded me of a book that I found when I was younger. This was like years ago, you guys. And it was this book. The name was The Law of One. It was like raw material, something like that, something. Raw material, the law of one. I don't remember if it was the law of one raw material or if I'm getting it backwards. I could be wrong about this. Either way, what is, in my opinion, relevant for this conversation particularly is the fact that in that book, this entity talks about specifically this idea of distortions, right? And the reason why I am mentally taken there is because I am now an adult. And as an adult, do I have more probability of getting like what I'm looking for with like a specific tool? Am I doing this wrong? I don't even know if I'm using the correct tools, but anyway, so this idea of distortions, which is described by this entity as like a natural mechanic of the universe. But the reason why the idea of distortions particularly came to mind is because now that I am an adult, I have professional experience as an interpreter. And the reason why I think this is important is because in interpretation, one of the reasons why we call it interpreting and not just translating is because sometimes in language you can't really translate something, oftentimes because some languages don't really have direct translation for certain things. And so it's called an interpretation because as the interpreter, you have to understand enough about both cultures you're trying to interpret to then be able to choose a cultural remark or figure of speech that could potentially function as like a reference or an equivalent to whatever it is that you're trying to interpret or potentially translate, just so that this meaning can be grasped and understood. And there's even specific protocols about how you can make a pause in the interaction as the interpreter to sort of explain to one or the other parties what it is that the meaning that is trying to be conveyed. And I think this is important to mention because I don't think that a lot of these people who participate in these spaces are considering the fact that when you are trying to interpret something, there is always some form of difference or dissonance or distortion, as Ra would probably call it. And this is important because in the subject of channeling, I highly doubt that if you are trying to convey meaning that comes from a civilization that is further advanced, maybe even some of those civilizations that are believed to no longer require language because they have telepathy, then what are the probabilities that we are understanding whatever is the meaning that they are trying to convey in like the best way possible? I figured it's highly likely to be close to none. It's not very probable that we're understanding things how they really want us to understand them. But anyway, I digress. Why is it that I thought it would be interesting to make a video about this? Number one, because I haven't launched my career, so I want to make sure you know how crazy I am. And number two, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. But I think the real reason why is because I thought it was interesting because in doing my research, I found similarities. Now, was I familiar with what the raw material says? Yes. What I wasn't familiar with was the ancient Egyptian culture. But why are we even talking about ancient Egyptian culture? That is a very good question, my friend, and one that I will be answering about right now. But first, give me a sec, because I need to figure out, I think I'm gonna have to make a second floor to my house, or like expand the one that I have, because I'm gonna have to start making my own food for these chickens. I don't have to constantly be out here doing this sort of stuff. Anyways, I think I'm gonna make like a space here where I could just plant my stuff, and that way I don't have to keep going back and forth getting more stuff for my chickens. Oh, look at all those chickens. Oh, wait, do I even have dirt? Because I'm being silly. If I have dirt up here, then I'm being silly. Can we not? What is happening? No dirt here? Dang, that's crazy. I'm gonna need more dirt. I'm gonna go get more dirt. Girl, can you please get down there? I mean, are we serious right now? How do you even find the time to be this freaking annoying? I have completely transformed these people's tower. Like, I'm acting like I own this place. I probably shouldn't be this way. Destroys even more private property. Takes even, yeah, sure, you can come in. Does he come up here? Wouldn't it be so funny if bro came up here? Dang, that's interesting. Anyways, can I do this and then, okay, there we go. Now over here, where else do I need to put some more? Are we sure? Well, I don't know if we're sure or not, but we're gonna have to be sure because this is about all the work I'm gonna do on this. I just want to say, if it were me and I was trying to work and then this girl just came on in here and started acting like she owns the place, I would be so mad. Now, thankfully, bro looks religious, so probably a better human than me. Human? Are they humans? Oh well, who knows? In any case, if you watched my video about flow, one of the reasons why this is particularly relevant for me is because in the video about flow, I talked about how I'm always a little resistant towards this idea that there's something weird out there, whatever. There's this weird like powers that are trying to control us, and that is the reason why things are happening. And the reason for that is because in flow, I mentioned how in nature, we have sort of always found ways to create systems that give us a certain degree of relevance. And so in the same flow conversation, we talked about how at first it was myths of creation. And then after that, within culture, of course, after that, it was religion. And then you have patriotism, and other systems that came off of it, right? Social classes. I forgot to put one on there. I thought I did. Oh well. After that, it was like social classes and so on and so forth. My point being, we've historically been very well known for doing these things to each other and to ourselves. And so I think is not only a little irresponsible, but it's also learned powerlessness in a way that we continue to act like this is something that could only be done to us by a higher power, as opposed to us doing this to each other, especially because we have historical evidence that we are very much capable of enough evil to subjugate each other. This is not some sort of foreign thing enacting its will upon us. These are other humans. Even if there was intervention from like a weird interdimensional thing, this would still be other humans hurting each other. And so I just think it's a little dishonest that we act like there's some sort of thing doing this to us. I need, this is the thing I need. And then this goes here. Now we do ourselves one of these. I'm so productive and efficient and stuff. I need to feed the chickens, so I need to get this done as soon as possible. Should I do all of it, or should I do some of it and then I do some potatoes as well? I should probably do some potatoes over there, but I only have one. Chat, close your eyes. I'm gonna go do something silly and goofy. Close your eyes, okay? You can't watch this. Don't watch this part. You're not supposed to see me doing this. Are you looking? Don't look. Oops. Don't look. Look away. I need to get out of here. I didn't. Wait, let me in. Ow. Okay, now, don't worry guys. Soon I will have more than enough for all of you. Don't you worry. We're gonna be rich. We're gonna be rich pretty soon. We should probably do the thing where we take a nappy nap. Let's go do that. Well, that would be another completely different conversation to be had altogether about that. I think there's value in mentioning that because it sort of serves as an opener for what I am about to talk about. Why is that one not getting water? I only get one potato. Is it because I didn't do this? Oh, you know what? Never mind, it does work. Oh well. Do I feed it again? Well, we're gonna run out of its food and if I keep diddling around. Wait, what was I supposed to be doing? Chad, there was something I was supposed to be doing, I'm pretty sure. And now I don't remember. Anyway, so as I was saying, these entity. Okay, so in the book The Law of One, this entity called Ra is being channeled by this lady called Carla. Now I'll put her name on the screen, but hold on. Let me keep this with me. Oh, wrong stuff. Okay, so this goes here. Okay, I'll put her name on the screen because I'm not sure if I could pronounce that correctly or not, and I don't want to be disrespectful. But basically, this entity claims to be a quote-unquote social memory complex of sixth density, and it claims to be making contact in hopes of teaching humanity about the law of one. Now, a few years ago, that was my personal very first introduction to this idea that everything is connected. I know that now people have seen the theory of the egg, everything is one, and all that stuff. But to me, back in the day, that was the very first time I heard anything of it. In this book, this entity mentions the idea of distortion. This is particularly relevant because Ra mentions in the book that their civilization tried to make contact with humanity before, like years ago, but they had to stop because we basically distorted the teachings into a hierarchical religion type of system, which is not what they intended. Now we'll talk about that in a second when we talk about examples, because I will be telling you about the examples I have, especially and particularly about the way that this actually impacted culture, because I think this is actually very interesting. I don't mean to be rude or anything, I just think it's very interesting. Granted, Ra also describes distortion as if it's like a natural mechanic of the universe. I need to make more torches, actually. I'm out here dilly-dallying like I'm about to go back down there. I need to make more torches. Chat, we haven't been back in our home for ages. For ages. Like, we've set up a whole thing over here and we haven't been back home. Should we just make a home around here? If we make a home around here, it has to be pink. And then we move our base of operation. Where should we do it? Should we do it like over there, closer to the lava? I think it would be useful for us to move closer to the lava, because then we get to like have a cute home, and then we can dispose of stuff near the lava if you want to. I think that's what we're doing. I think we're just gonna go make a home that is cute over there. I'm thinking about reasons why not, and I can't think of any. So we'll probably do that. I'm thinking, what kind of materials do we have? And what kind of home do we want to make? In any case, because Ra describes these idea of distortions as a natural mechanic of physical reality, I have a potential to like sort of assume or think that these don't have to be considered something that is evil specifically, but it is in its initial explanations. Ra acknowledges the fact that they want to avoid as much distortion as possible. They describe distortion, and I quote, because I want to make sure I don't mess this up, as any point where infinite undifferentiated unity takes on a specific shape. The very act of creation was the first distortion. And so this doesn't seem to be positive or negative. It's just sort of generative or automatic, like an automatic mechanicity of infinity. Now, in my opinion, which I will try to signal or make sure I let you know what is my opinion and what isn't my opinion, because if this thing is actually smarter than me and they think it's important to state that difference, then I feel inclined to do the same, you know? So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna let you know when I'm talking about my opinion, and I'm gonna let you know when I'm not talking about my opinion. I should probably make a few chests. Okay, I think that's good enough for now. Okay, I think, what else is useful that we should take with us? Probably this stuff, because I'm likely to need it if our house is going to be pink, and then I'm probably going to have to make another bed, so I'll probably take this with me as well. Okay, let's do this before we go. Are we lucky? Dang, no log. Y'all vegetarian? Y'all are definitely vegetarian. Can't share my meal with you. Anyway, let's go find a good spot for our house. So in my opinion, if it's true that differentiation from the infinite concept of unity is what creates distortion, if this idea itself is correct, then it is highly likely, number one, that this is when things start to get complex. I don't want to deviate too far from the point, but number two, then some of the people who think that infinite expansion for the sake of self-exploration is the reason why everything pretty much exists, then this idea that these distortions are merely mechanisms of reality, it might actually be correct. Like, there might actually be something to that. Wait, how far am I from the lava? Okay, how close am I from the lava or to the lava? Okay, this isn't bad actually. So I mentioned previously that Ra themselves state that they had previously tried to... What were you even doing over there? Ra themselves had mentioned that they had tried to make contact with previous civilizations, but the teachings of the Law of One got distorted, so they had to retreat. And the civilization they said they had to contact was Egypt. Now, I find this to be particularly interesting because when you look at Egyptians' myths of creation, plenty of these are very much similar to what you would call the teachings of the Law of One. Now, for the sake of not making this video 10 hours long, are you just going around in circles over there? What's going on here? Because I'm about to make my house here, and I really just want to know if there's some weird stuff here that you're seeing that I'm not. Okay, there doesn't seem to be anything. Why is bro doing that? No reason, actually. There doesn't seem to be a reason for that. Bro is just broing around. In any case, for the sake of not making this video 10 hours long, I'm only gonna be talking about two particular subjects. The first, I need to get out of here. I need to go take a nap. I need to go back home and take a nap. Okay, so the first would be the judgment process in Egyptian myths of creation. Well, that's interesting. Anyway, the first would be the judgment process in the Egyptian myths of creation. And then the second will be the transition process from the quote unquote land of the living to what you could potentially call a liminal space of death. I need to sort of make this path easier now that I'm doing this. Anyways, you can make these so pretty actually. Wait, I'm excited. I'm excited. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with Anubis, which honestly, I feel like Anubis these days is sort of popular. There's a lot of cool things that reference Egyptian culture, like video games, movies, and things like that. So it's highly unlikely that people haven't heard who Anubis is, but essentially, Anubis is the Egyptian deity or god who rules over the afterlife and Egyptian funerary customs. So mummification and all that good stuff, all those kinds of ritual, they're oftentimes associated with Anubis. Now, of course, please note again, as I mentioned before, I don't mean to disrespect anybody. These are simplifications. I think you should seek information directly from the source of a lot of these traditions so you can understand them better. I'm here to show you some patterns that I was able to notice. I am not here to discuss whether or not there's any accuracy to any of this information. So I will be referring to a lot of these traditions with a bit of an oversimplified lens for the sake of not making this video 10 hours long, because who do I think I am? Not trying to bore you or yap you for 10 hours. In any case, the first interesting equivalent that I think it's important to draw is the fact that from the perspective of Anubis, he uses a scale to sort of weigh against Mahat's feather. It's like a measure of truth and lightness. So it's never really like a list of all the sins that you committed or anything like that in your process of like going from the living to the death. And I think this is particularly interesting because in the law of one, in the law of one, the harvesting of the soul happens, and then there is a vibrational orientation that is measured specifically, which is like a love and light ratio kind of thing. And then that is sort of the decision maker. And particularly, I think this is interesting because both of these ideas convey that it's like the evaluation is not particularly punitive. It's sort of like a mechanism that is being operated that then makes the decision on what it is that's going to happen in the afterlife. I should have made a crafting table. I should take a crafting table with me. And then what else am I taking with? Probably this would be a good idea, just in case. What else? I'll take this just in case, because I might just end up spending a lot more time over there than I am here. I take half of these just in case. Let's go. Anyway, so for the first one, I think it's very interesting because again, it's a mechanism and it operates in an automatic manner as opposed to people deciding what it is that's going to happen, or as opposed to there being like a judgment of sorts that is casted upon the people. I'm gonna be near here. I'm gonna set up like a quick station here sort of thing. The first thing that we're gonna do is this because I don't want to actually get burned. Okay, good. And now I'm just sort of gonna extend these areas so that I can use this platform as like a temporary base of sorts. And then first we're gonna put 2 of these bad boys here, and then 2 of these bad boys here, and then we're gonna put you here, and then here we're gonna empty out all this material, and I'm gonna figure out an order for this stuff later. I just want to have somewhere to put stuff I'm not using. And so first I'm gonna be making this because I need it right now. Okay, and then we're gonna put these back here, and we're gonna go back to working on this house. I'm the owner of this house. And so what I want to have is enough space so that I could have my farm here. So maybe like the house and some sort of a garden. Watch me make these and then decide that it's time for another epic adventure and then leave it. Never come back. Why am I like this? This has now been probably like the second base I made, or the third. Who knows? Who knows at this point? Not me. I don't know. I don't know about any of this. What am I doing? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Okay, so I think what we do here is we try to make it so that there isn't as much of that visible. Is this even enough space? I mean, this is a good chunk of space. Maybe have like a farm over here, like my house over there in the corner, and maybe like a farm over here, and maybe crops here. Oh my gosh, make it like multiple layers, like over here, my house, and then a farm here, but like not on the same level as my house, right? I want everything to have like a different level. It's gonna be so cute. Okay, and then I make like a farm over there, and then over here we have our chickens. Oh, you know what? We should probably be thinking about more space to farm. Whoa, I probably shouldn't have done that. Anyways, so because it is like a measure with an automatic machine type of deal, in these process, because it's more of a process and less of a judgment, Anubis does not decide the outcome. He just operates the machine. And I think the way that Ra describes it is also very similar. You know what would be interesting now that I think about it? Like, what if I just started researching where everything else comes from? Anyways, so farm, like for foods, right? And then actual animals go here. I want to sort of fix this so that it doesn't look like that. And then, okay, so my house, the farm, and then the animals should go here. Okay, I think this is a good plan. And I also think that I should probably be heading home before I get murdered, right? We go take a nappy nap now. So the next part would be like a sort of law that operates as the foundation for the way in which the machine works. And so in the case of Anubis is Mad, I really hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I'll show it up on screen. And so the principle against which the heart is measured is sort of a cosmic law instead of a personality or a preference or a choice from the operator. And the law of one is similarly impersonal, is a fundamental principle of unity. It's not like a God making the decision for you. But I think what's particularly important is because the level of readiness is also measured in that way, where in the law of one, a soul does not go to like a next quote unquote density. Why am I going over there through here? That's like the longest way ever. The level of readiness is measured for next supposed density, quote unquote. It's not like a condemnation. You just stay in the level that you're at until you're ready to go to the next level. Oh, now you want to be in my business, huh? Do I want like can you please stop? I'm trying to get something done here and you're like in my way. You love being in my business, don't you? I say like I'm not living in your tower for free like a hobo. Okay, so that's it, at least for now, for the judgment process itself. Now what I want to talk about is the transition process. Did you push me? I'm watching you. Okay. No. I should probably make that bed. I almost fall in there. I almost fall in there. Why am I like this? Okay, so now we have aesthetic decisions to make. So I'm gonna go back up there, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this bad boy with us, and we're gonna take as much wood as possible, and then we're gonna replant trees up there. We're gonna replant trees up there so that I'm gonna take another axe just in case, so that when we need more, there is more, right? Don't be greedy with nature. Don't be greedy with nature. Oh, I should probably take like something that could help me climb if I need to. And food. I just noticed I have 3 left. Okay, so now we go up and over there, and as we do that, we start talking about transitions. And so in transitions, what I noticed was that they both operate systematically as like a compassionate escort situation. In the example of Anubis, Anubis guides the souls through the duat, which is sort of like an in-between space. And then in the case of the law of one, people have spirit guides and the higher self and all that good stuff. Maybe I could just do one of these. Almost fall. Wait, I'm curious what's in here. This is probably such a bad idea. Oh, wait, why does that water look like a completely different color than the water I'm used to? And what's down here? And what's this? Bro, I'm gonna keep going down there and then I'm gonna get lost and then I'm gonna forget the reason why I'm here. Okay, great. Fantastic even. It's like a whole new world over there. What's over here? Have I been here before? Probably, probably not. Who knows? I need to run. I need to get out of here. I need to get out of here expeditiously and effective immediately with ease, breeze, and grease. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, I should have known better. I should have known better. I should have known better. Goodbye. Anyway, we're going up, up, up. It's our moment. Okay, we're up here. Another thing is that in the case of the duat, I don't want to leave a bees. I don't want to make a bee homeless. Oh, hello. Hello, sir. Oh, pufferfish. I don't know what that. No. Oh, I thought it was me. I thought I was in trouble for a second. They really went at him. Jesus. Anyways, we're gonna need more woods. So the duat is sort of a liminal space that operates as kind of like a threshold between the land of the living and the dead. And then for the law of one example, the space between densities is described as a transition zone, not particularly nothing, but a sort of environment in which consciousness reorganizes. And then another thing is the sort of a weird sense of full arc presence where Anubis sort of no more? Oh, yes, more. Hold on. Is that it? That's it for this one. Let's get another one. Any case, Anubis is present at both embalming and judgment. He accompanies the soul across the entire arc of transition. And then in Ra's framework, the higher self is present across all of a soul's incarnations, like the entire process. And this is all happening sort of simultaneously. So it's like a full arc sort of awareness, like sort of always there, always present. And it gives this sense of like you're never really truly alone. Well, unless you think that's creepy, but I personally think that could be a very kind-natured thing if you choose to view it that way. But again, it's all choice. It's all choice. God dang it. Y'all don't let me rest. Leave me alone. Give me my space. Y'all are gonna get in trouble. Okay, so think this was the route I took previously. Ow! That hurts. Hurts. Ow! It's so mean here. I gotta run to my bed. Ow! It's so rude here. Ooh, my taters are almost ready. Gotta go check on my taters. Gotta go check on them. Oh, that could have been tragic. Bro could have gotten my potatoes. Okay, there we go. And how about you? Okay, I'll go feed the chickens. Hey, more chicken. Oh my god, they made him so cute. They're so adorable. Anyways, I think that's where I'm gonna leave it for now. If you guys want to keep talking about this stuff, let me know. This is probably the weirdest video I've ever made. But thank you for watching. Thanks for stopping by. Don't do anything that I wouldn't. Friendly reminder. That does include no arson, no ending up in jail, and no ending up in the hospital. No adding to the population and no subtracting from the population. I love you very much. I'm very grateful for you. And I'll see you when I see you. Bye-bye. Good night.